Hi, I'm Mark from Valor XL. Thank you for joining me today. And is it just me or does something seem a little weird? It's almost like things are backwards. Well, that's actually appropriate because today I'd like to break with the traditional norm of the videos that we share on Valor XL and instead talk to you from a slightly different approach. Because today I'd like to tell you how you can ruin your small business in 5 easy steps. And I guarantee if you follow the advice that I give, you have a pretty high probability of seeing your business completely disintegrate. Even if it doesn't fall to pieces, it will at least stall. You'll find yourself stuck in the mud. You won't be able to grow or develop, and you'll never really thrive. Whatever your initial vision was that was the catalyst for you to start the business will disappear like a vapor into the air, and you'll be left wondering why. And the interesting thing is, a lot of people apparently follow this advice because, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, small businesses only have a 50% chance of surviving 5 years or more. So that means out of every new business being formed today, one business for every two will go south. Why does that happen? Today, I'd like to tell you why. I'd like to show you how you can ruin your best plans, how you can take all of the great visions that you have and completely let them fall to pieces by simply not watching the important things you should be focusing on. A lot of times when we start a business, we're wrapped up in making sure that we have all the big ticket things taken care of, the tax stuff, all of the licenses and the registrations. And I think for a lot of us, once we get that out of the way, we think, well, that's all I needed to do. If that describes you, then you're well positioned for business failure, because all you have to do now is try to go full steam ahead without really properly structuring everything. That's a sure guarantee that things will fall apart, if not today, at some point down the road. Another way that you can guarantee your business failure is to ignore the input of other people who have already walked the same path you now find yourself on. Take all their practical experience and just disregard it. Don't pay any attention to it. Ignore all of the day-to-day struggles that they went through, all the lessons learned that could really be gold in your bank. Just throw that stuff out the window, and you too can fumble, bumble, and struggle as you try to figure out all of the complexities of starting, growing, and maintaining a business. Another thing that you can do is to completely ignore all that stuff about written procedures and instructions and having documented processes. Just let everybody in the organization carry their jobs around in their heads. That way, when somebody leaves or is suddenly unexpectedly gone for a long period of time, your entire organization will be completely crippled and you'll find yourself struggling to figure out just the most basic of day-to-day operations. So today, to help you on that journey, I'd like to share with you 5 things that I guarantee will ruin your small business. So follow these, and in 5 years' time, you too can be one of those Small Business Administration's failure statistics. Here they are. So don't write these down because remember, we're not worrying with having any kind of structure. The first step you can take toward ruining your business is to start your business without defining your purpose. After all, you're probably getting in this just to make a buck, so just focus on that. Just let money be all that you fixate on. Don't really think about what your mission is. Don't give any thought to what the day-to-day will look like. Don't think about what you want to be doing 5 years from now. Just focus on making money and go as quickly as you can, and don't really take anything else into consideration. Don't be innovative. Don't do anything on any level that would really give you an edge over your competition. Just throw yourself into what you know, doing it the way you know how to do it. Hope that things will work out the best, and there's a pretty high probability that they won't. The second step you can take is don't build a staff of like-minded people. If you have a job posting that you put up on one of the hiring sites, simply take the first 5 applicants who apply. Don't even screen them. And if you have to do an interview, just make it a cursory one simply so that you can say that you did it. But then hire whoever raises their hand first. Make sure that when you're doing the interview that you don't really ask them about their work ethic or what they hope to bring to the table when they come into the organization. By doing so, if you do that for every person you hire, you pretty much guarantee that you'll never foster any kind of team cohesiveness. And as a result, any chance of collaboration will go out the window. And without collaboration, you're guaranteeing that your organization will stagnate, decline, and eventually grind to a complete halt. The third thing you can do is fail to determine your market niche. If you have a product or a service to offer, don't do any research. Don't make sure you're in the right geographical location. Make sure that you do everything you can to just kind of put blinders on and just plow ahead. Don't look at your competition. Don't investigate to see if you're duplicating the services that somebody else is offering. Automatically assume that every idea you have is stellar and that everything that you're putting out there into the marketplace will be gobbled up by the ravenous hordes of clients or customers pounding on your door begging you to let them in. By doing so, you guarantee that you'll be out of touch with your local community. So in addition to being a failure from a business perspective, you won't have any relevant connection to the lives in the city or town where you're operating. And that will cause you to have an even higher degree of invisibility. If you take these steps to heart, you're basically guaranteeing complete irrelevancy in your community and among your business colleagues and peers. The fourth thing that you can do is don't invest in developing your infrastructure. Basically, start off with the bare minimum, maybe not even enough to really get the ball rolling. And if you do somehow manage to maintain any stability, never look at any options for improving what you're doing. Don't put any capital whatsoever in new technology or any new tools that would streamline your operation, develop greater efficiency, improve the communication within the company and between you and your clients or customers. Basically, watch the competition around you gain the market advantage because no one wants to deal with you because of your cumbersome techniques, your inadequacy, and your inefficiency. By ensuring that you never invest any money where it needs to be invested, you'll put yourself on a firm trajectory into the ground. And number 5, the most important thing you can do to guarantee complete business failure, ignore what your clients or customers have to say. By doing this, you'll ensure that you operate in a complete vacuum, a bubble. You're cutting yourself off from any possibility of negative feedback because you're cutting yourself off from all feedback. Make sure that you don't maintain any kind of social media presence, and if at all possible, don't even have a website. Limit the ways that people can contact you after you've had a business interaction with them. By doing so, you'll alienate the people that you were serving. And best of all, you don't have to worry about whether or not they had a good or bad experience with you, because to you, it just doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about tweaking processes, developing new products or services, or expanding your reach in the community, because ultimately, you don't want to hear what they have to say. That wealth of information they could bring to you would just mean that you had to put more mental energy into figuring out what to do with it. So if you want to fail, it's best to ignore them completely. As you can see, it's incredibly easy to fail in business if you follow these 5 basic steps. But what fun would that be? Let's turn this around. At Valor XL, we don't want you to fail. We want you to succeed. There are so many highly intelligent, creative people who start small businesses with fantastic ideas for new products or services. They want to be able to enrich the lives of other people. They want to be able to contribute to their community, but they don't quite know where to start. And starting without all the tools you need is really a terrible way to go. It would be like trying to build a house and the only tool you had was a shovel. That might be okay when you're trying to dig to lay the foundation. It could be a pain in the neck when it's time to drive nails. In your small business, it's crucial that you look beyond all of that initial setup stuff and that you look at the bigger picture. And at Valor XL, we want to help you do that. Now, one of the things that you can do, whether you're an existing business or somebody just looking at the possibilities of starting one, is to take a really deep look and get a really clear perspective at the kind of overall philosophy and approach that you're taking. If you click on the link in the description below this video, you can download a free PDF called Taking Your Organization's Temperature. It'll give you a really clear perspective on the approach that you're taking. And that alone can be crucial because it can completely redirect your mindset if you're not really looking at things in the proper context. We do want you to succeed, and I really encourage you, please subscribe to the Valor XL channel. We develop all of our content targeting it exclusively for small businesses and nonprofits because I really believe that both of those entities have unique struggles and unique obstacles that bigger businesses or larger organizations don't face. So please check in on a weekly basis. We're constantly bringing out content that we believe will help you to truly thrive in whatever your enterprise is. If this was helpful for you today, would you please give this episode a like? I really do appreciate you being with us today, and I really do encourage you, avoid failure in your small business by focusing on what really matters. Please come back and join us for the next installment of Valor XL. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.